This program on NOTSTR8 TV is brought to you by Video Blocks. 7 days of free downloads, over 50,000 stock clips of video, backgrounds, music, and more. To get started, visit NOTSTR8.tv/video blocks. Sign up and get your 7 days of free downloads. NOTSTR8.tv/video blocks.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl.
The accident was over a year ago. A second woman has been elected president. A 12th planet has been named in the solar system. The last wild polar bear has died. I slept through it all. Was here for my waking. He called it a beginning. He said it was good. I think he may have thought that anything I did was good.
Welcome to Transition Radio, live from Hollywood, Florida, with your host and hostess, Mark Angelo and Jessica Lynn Cummings. Show for trans folks, by trans folks, here to let your voice be heard. Well, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Transition Radio TV. Today on our show, we have a very special guest for you, Mr. Buck Angel. Buck Angel was born a biological female and conquered a lifetime of adversity to undergo his transformation and become the healthy, happy, self-confident man he is today. From early childhood, there was no doubt Buck Angel was born in the wrong body. He roughhoused with the toughest bullies and was accepted as a boy by friends and family. When he started to grow breasts and menstruated, it was devastating as he felt his body was betraying him. This caused several depression and led to substance abuse problems.
Life for Buck finally took a turn for the better when he came across a documentary about a female-to-male transsexual. This film changed the course of his life forever. Not long after Buck finally found a therapist who understood the nature of his problem, he then began taking the necessary hormones and later underwent breast removal surgery. His transformation was a dream come true. And for the first time in his life, Buck was able to live comfortably in his own skin. After becoming the man he had always perceived himself to be, he began to live a productive and fulfilling life with peace and self-acceptance.
Following gender reassignment, Buck began working in the adult entertainment industry as a fetish filmmaker and website developer for male-to-female online market. After a few years, he came to realize that there were no female-to-male adult entertainment sites on the internet.
In this typical pioneering fashion, Buck created the first FTM adult website in 2003 and became the first FTM adult entertainer and film producer in 2007. Buck made history again as the first transsexual man to ever win the AVN Transsexual Performer of the Year award, the Academy Awards of the adult industry.
I have admired him and looked up to him for many years, and I am grateful of his message, which allowed me to feel comfortable with what I have in between my legs. Now, welcome to our show, Mr. Buck Angel.
Awesome. Hi, you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here for sure, Buck.
I've admired you for the longest time, man. You're doing great work for the community to allow people to be comfortable in their own skin and to appreciate what we have down below because, as you know, it's not perfected. So we have to be grateful that we have what we have and learn how to enjoy it.
Exactly.
So we've lined up a few questions for you. Go ahead, Buck.
No, yeah, and I want to say, Mark, we've been friends for like maybe 10 years. Have we been friends for 10 years? At least 5 years, I think. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, at one point when I was married to Violet, we were going to go visit you guys in Mexico. We had talked about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't break away from my business at the time, so. But you have to come down to Florida because I definitely want to meet you in person.
As do
Yeah,
I.
that would be awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, you never do anything down on this end.
It's really weird. I get so many people asking me to come, like, why aren't you coming to Miami or, other parts of Florida? And I just haven't had any requests to come there. So maybe we'll have to work on that so I can get that way.
Definitely. Because I think you have a great message.
Yeah, definitely. I do as well. Like I said, you've been an admiration for me as well in a lot of ways.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks to you, she became curious about FTMs, and that's how it came to be.
Yes, it's all your fault, Buck. It's all your fault, Buck.
Okay, that's cool. I'll take it.
But hey, I have to thank you because I found my soulmate because of it. So I can attest that I'm glad that you were the first one that I saw.
And she said, I have to have one of these.
Yes, I know. I have to have one of these. So I got a question for you. Tell us the ignorance you have encountered when you first tried breaking into the porn industry.
Oh, yeah. I got a ton. First, I got it from a couple different angles. First, I got it from, surprisingly so, the adult industry itself. They were extremely intolerant of what I was trying to bring and, just not understanding it and, saying it's too freaky and weird. And, I'm just like, wow, the adult entertainment business is acting like I'm just like some freak. And so that was sort of disturbing to me because I was trying to make something positive and it was, I wasn't really getting any support there. And the other one was the actual trans male community at the time was being super hateful towards me and just really sending me tons of really ugly hate mails that I was, making the trans men look really bad and that we all have pussies and that we're all really happy to have them and blah, blah, blah. And like, you're misrepresenting the community. And it was just really shocking to me. And so then that's when I really realized how important what I was doing was because it was making people angry and making people sort of look at things that they didn't want to look at. And so it was sort of like, I understand it was a negative, but I really switched it into a positive in a way that really sort of kept me going and kept me really fueled to get where I am.
And it's really crazy that the porn industry would think what you're doing is freaky when they have, people doing it with animals or they have midgets doing all sorts of weird things. And it's like, so what's so weird about that? I mean, it's crazy, but they're afraid of change. People are afraid of something different and new. And you did bring something to the table. And now, thanks to you, there are a lot of FTMs out there that are actually engaging in porn. And I think it's a great thing. I mean, I love porn myself. I think, what guy doesn't, right?
Yes, I can attest to that.
Exactly.
And it's a way of fulfilling your fantasy, and it's a way of really allowing yourself to be free in the bedroom, which I think a lot of adults need help in that. They're very reserved and very closeted about their sex life. And I think sex is something very beautiful.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's not even just in the transsexual community and beyond. I think it's beyond that. I think it's bigger than that. I think even just general relationships between a woman and a man, let's say, they have as many problems because they can't let themselves be free and do what they want to do.
So you're definitely doing a justice to the world. And besides that, you have created a major fetish. I mean, we dabble on XTube every now and then, and there are so many FTM admirers out there now. I mean, it's crazy. I know,
it's crazy. Yeah.
It's like, wow, Buck really tapped on something really, really good. And now it's like, you got bisexual guys, gay guys that are very interested in at least trying to be with us for an experience.
Well, yeah, because you guys are fucking hot. Sorry.
Well, no, that's great. The thing that I'm most proud of is that now it's not a freaky, and that people are okay with saying I'm attracted to a trans man. Where 10 years ago they would have never said that, or they would have said that's freaky or weird, and I can't really talk about it. And one of the main other reasons that I had really wanted to start, doing the Buck Angel stuff was because I worked with trans women in the adult entertainment business, and I watched how people treated them like freaks, and even the guys who are attracted to them don't want to talk about it, and it's very, on the down low, and it still is that way. And I wanted it to be something that was a positive thing if you were attracted to a man like us, and it wasn't going to be something that was swept under the rug and no one really talked about it, now it's like it's just normal that you're attracted to a man who has a vagina.
Exactly. I mean, it's a nice wet hole.
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Mark has been more of a man than a lot of men I met. And having a vagina doesn't make a damn bit of difference because he's still all man. So, it doesn't make me feel like any less of a woman to use what I have when we get intimate. So, I think it's fabulous.
Plus, I think it allows you to reach.
Well, that's the stigma.
Yeah.
That's the stigma that the world puts on us, so that you have to have a dick to be a man, you have to have, a vagina to be a woman, and then if you don't, then you're not this. It's always been so black and white, and now, with the progression of gender now, and people calling themselves gender queer, or not even conforming to calling themselves he or she anymore, it's such a different world, than 10 years ago.
And I think it's beautiful because I'm a big believer in the ancient time and the angels, and they weren't one specific gender. They were androgynous. And I think it's very godly. So, I look at Jessica in the nude, and to me it's beautiful seeing a woman with breasts and having a penis. And the same thing, I look at myself with this hairy body and my pecs, and then I look down below, and it's like, it's angelic. It's something that's, it's, very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, it's hot.
I don't know, but you're turning me on right now. So can we go to the next question?
All right, has things changed after all these years of your hard work and dedication? Are you having more acceptance in the porn industry than you did when you originally started? And if so, what do you think has been the reason?
100 billion times more. I'm totally respected in the industry as a leader in the industry, and I think that's changed because I stuck with it, and I pushed, and then when I finally won, basically the top award you can win in my industry from my peers, it was like everything changed within my industry towards what I was doing, and the fact that I've been around the industry for 10 years shows that I have a history, and that I've stayed, and that I continue to push for sexual freedom and rights with my work. And I think I've gained the respect of my peers by doing that and showing that, I did have the idea, and I did stick with it, and I did invent a genre. And now there's more guys like me, doing porn work now, which is exactly what I wanted it to become.
And you've done a great job in doing so. Like I said, a great justice. And I know there are guys out there that still think of it as taboo, and they are afraid of porn, like, it's something evil, and it's not. We're sexual beings, whether you're transgender, gay, bi, or straight, we're sexual human beings, and I think we should have that freedom to express our sexuality and to be open in the bedroom and be adventurous.
And not only that, loving somebody is not loving them for what they have in between their legs or on their chest. It's about loving them for what they have inside.
Yeah.
Well, occasionally it works the other way around.
Say that again, Buck?
It's just so ridiculous that people are so focused on that, and they still are. And you have to also say, within our own community, within our own trans community, there's so much negativity and hate, and I have to tell you, specifically for myself, I still get a lot of negativity from within our community towards my work and towards some things that I say sometimes, or they lash out at me constantly and put just things out there about me that are completely inappropriate and untrue, and take my words out of context constantly. And it's this fight that I have within my own community that has really discouraged me from feeling that I want to spend more time, promoting that community, when I feel that there's people outside of the trans community who are much more supportive of what I do and much more understanding and want to listen to what I have to say, which makes me so sad sometimes.
Well, they're closed-minded individuals, and, to me it's like shame on them. to me, it's
Yeah.
funny how the people that are discriminated the most are the ones that discriminate the most, and that's crazy. Everyone should, it doesn't mean they all have to go out and do porn and they all have to go out and use their vagina. It's just allowing people to be and say, bravo, here's this man who is taking something to high levels and at least respect you for it. I know I've always respected you and I've always admired you.
As have I.
So, and hopefully,
Yeah, and
more
that's the key. That's the key to growing we're not all the same. Me and you are not the same. Though, what we do is we respect each other, and we respect each other's thoughts, and you might not agree with everything I have to say, and you probably don't, but it doesn't mean that you can't respect me, and the same thing for me with you. And so that's the key to building our community, is that we're all just people who have different ideas and opinions about things, but we have an ultimate goal, and our ultimate goal is to be accepted by the world as everyone else is accepted, and that's the bottom line. And so the problem for me within the community is the fighting, is tearing the community apart, which is weakening the cause.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons transgender individuals can't see eye to eye. You could have 5 transsexual people in one room and they don't all agree on anything. They're constantly fighting. And that's crazy. How can we gain the respect of the world when we don't respect each other or ourselves?
Exactly.
That's the message that Jessica and I are trying to convey with our radio show and TV show, is to try to educate our community as well as the allies and the other LGBT communities, because it's crazy. We're not going to get anywhere by fighting with one another.
No, it's only going to make it worse.
Yeah, and it's clearly what's happening. Where I just get discouraged to even be around them, and I totally move to the heterosexual. The heterosexual people tend to be way more open-minded towards what I have to do and really wanting to look and see what I have to say. It's like shocks me that they seem to really appreciate what I'm doing more a lot than I'm not saying the whole trans community, but there's just a portion of them that are so hateful and mean and ugly. It's just incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah, they have too many taboos, and if you say a wrong word, that's not politically correct, or they're always trying to fight something.
Exactly.
And it's like, you don't bring peace by creating war. I mean, that's crazy.
Nope.
It seems to be this theme to our world, and it's.
And you said it best in a post, Buck, about the word policing thing earlier today, and I commented back on it, with my opinion on the situation, and I couldn't agree more that, there's too much. If we make people tend to feel like they have to walk on eggshells, they're not going to want to be willing to learn about what we have to offer. So, I mean, you need to be a little bit.
Yeah. It's totally simple. Look, I really believe in having a positive attitude, and I can tell that you guys do as well. You guys and girls do as well. It's so important. When you smile, the world smiles back at you. I've learned this through hard work and really changed my attitude. And that, people might say things to me that I don't like, but I always try to have a discussion with them. And then the people that don't want to have a discussion with me, I already know that they're not even willing to change their attitude. But the people who are willing to, you can pretty much change people's attitude if you don't, first of all, take yourself too seriously at that point, and let them understand that they don't understand you. People don't understand us. They just don't. They've been told that we're supposed to be this way, but when they learn to like us and feel comfortable around us, then they're willing to change their views and understand, they're just like us. I mean, to me, I don't really understand why it's such a difficult thing to understand.
Exactly.
Human beings are weird. I've always said I'm from another planet. I've never understood the human race.
My little alien baby.
Yeah, that's me.
So, hey, Buck, what has been the most memorable moment that you have had since your transition?
Well, that's a tough question. I have so many. Honestly, the most memorable moment, I think, was one that's probably one of the most powerful to me, was when I really came to terms with my vagina. And I remember specifically I was masturbating, and because testosterone makes you very horny, as you know, and so I was having one of those moments, and I was just masturbating like crazy, and I had never been penetrated before, and I remember somehow my fingers got inside of me, and I had an orgasm. I had, a vaginal orgasm, which I never had before, and I was like, oh my God, what was that? Like, I didn't even know what it was. I'd always had clitoral orgasms, and I was like, wow. And then that was a very, very memorable moment for me, because it literally changed my life of understanding my body and really coming to terms with, that I have this thing that I actually love the way it feels when I have sex. So that was super memorable for me.
That's so funny, because that sounds kind of like the way it happened with us.
Yeah, the first time that Jessica popped the cherry, it was like, wow, okay. It's just an amazing, and it's the connection that two human beings have together, which I had never experienced, having been with women all my life and having just the clitoral orgasms. So now it's like, wow, it changes your life dramatically. And when you're okay with it and doesn't make you feel less of a man or less of I don't even like to use the word man, because I don't consider myself a man. I consider myself a transgender person or trans man. And I've become good with the fact that I have both female and male energy. And I think that's part of the balance that we are here on this planet to learn how to do. It's like the yin and the yang.
Sure.
You got both those energies. And when you allow yourself to be comfortable with that, your life changes dramatically.
That's like I told at the first night that Mark and I actually got intimate. When we were done, I looked at him and I said, "Hey, baby, question for you. Did it just feel like we just had a foursome?" And we lost it.
Because Maritza, which was my female name, I had literally buried her, and all of a sudden Maritza started coming back alive. And it's funny, because sometimes it's there's four of us living in this household: Mark, Maritza, Sean, and Jessica. And it's never a dull moment, let me tell you.
Not at all.
All right, so Buck,
oh my God.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to tell you, I just had a great idea. What a great idea for a reality show.
Oh, definitely.
The four of us.
Right.
The four of us.
Yeah, that would be very interesting, to say the least. You have done some really great public service announcements, which we think is great. And I'm going to have Joe run one of the actual the public announcement that I'm talking about, so the viewers could see it.
I have some important information to share with you. Long-term use of testosterone will cause vaginal dryness, discomfort, and atrophy. So talk to your doctor about a prescription for vaginal estrogen cream to counter the negative effects. Don't worry, it won't affect your masculinity, as you can see. The effects are completely localized. Not only will estrogen cream keep your vagina healthy, it can help to prevent more serious problems later. Remember, own it, use it, or lose it.
That's awesome. It's funny, because when I got my hysterectomy back in 2003, and a few months after the fact, I started feeling a lot of discomfort down in the vaginal area. And when I went back to the doctor who actually did my surgery, he wanted to give me some estrogen cream. Well, of course, I wasn't very aware and awake as I am today, and I wasn't comfortable with my female side. So when he mentioned the word estrogen cream, I'm like, what do you mean estrogen cream? Are you crazy? I was like, I don't want anything to do with that E word, okay? I just got rid of all my inside, and you want to give me some estrogen? And now, through the years, I see, well, it makes sense, because it does get dry, it does get uncomfortable. At times I tell Jessica, my JJ is bothering me. It feels weird sometimes, But that was a very good advertisement and information for trans guys, and that's really, really, really great.
Well, it's super important, because we don't talk about the health of our vaginas at all. So, it's really, the estrogen cream can save you so much pain down the road. It's ridiculous. But we don't talk about that. And so I'm actually working on a product right now. I'm working on making a product specifically for trans men who are taking testosterone, who will be able to use the product in place of estrogen cream, so that they will feel comfortable and they will have actually no problems down there. Because if we would have, I actually had an emergency hysterectomy because I had 20 years of testosterone atrophied my uterus and my fallopian tubes, and I got really sick and had an infection and had to have an emergency hysterectomy because the doctor didn't tell me that I should be taking estrogen cream all these years.
Wow.
So that's very good information.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of education out there for trans health, because it's like a taboo, and most trans guys don't want to even deal with anything. And it's they stick their head in the ground like an ostrich. So
yeah, exactly. Well, hey, Buck, tell us a little bit about that special lady in your life, and has she been supportive of your career choice and transition?
Oh, you mean my wife?
Yes, that would be her.
Elaine Angel is amazing. We've been together for 10 years. Our 9-year wedding anniversary is next month, and actually no, next week I think. See, I'm such a dude. I keep forgetting the date of our anniversary. And so she's amazing. I just have not, we're just like you guys. We're soulmates, 110%. We have amazing life together. We are just very compatible with everything. Without her, I wouldn't be doing my work. She's been tremendous in helping me, keep going and really being she's part of the, Buck Angel Entertainment situation. She, helped me with my first film. She was, in a couple of my very first films because we couldn't find people to be in them. And she's nothing but supportive around everything I do. And I'll never forget when I came to her with the idea, she said to me, "You know what, Buck, if you do this idea, you're going to change the world." And I was like, "Elaine, I just want to make porn. It's really not that big of a deal."
She looked into the future and saw the great man, and you had a great woman backing you up, and that's what it takes, a good team to get things forward.
Well, you know what they say, behind every good man, there's a good woman.
That's right.
They do say that, it's true.
No, Buck, I know I don't need a penis to complete me as a man. Tell the viewers your take on this.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
I said, I know that I don't need a penis to complete me as a man. I want you to tell the viewers your take on this.
Yeah. Well, pretty much you just said it. I mean, the deal is this. We are told since we're little teeny babies and from forever in our whole lives that a man has a penis and a woman has a vagina. And that's what we're told, and that's what the world has always, I guess, told us. Really, and I guess, in the last couple, maybe 5 or 1,000 years, it's been that way. Maybe even less than that. But prior to that, as you know, people like us were considered, spirited people and people who were revered. But somewhere along the line, we were told that you can't be this way and that you have to have a penis and you have to have a vagina to be a man or a woman. Somehow, I must have been touched by one of the ancient people who told me, "No, dude, you're special and you don't have to have a penis to become a man." And I realized that through my research of trying to get a penis and realizing that it just wasn't going to happen for me, and that if I didn't really realize that I was not going to have a penis, I was never going to be happy, that I had to just accept myself for who I was, and that, it's not a handicap. It's not something that I feel that I am less of anything. I feel, in fact, more empowered having my vagina than I probably would have ever getting that penis surgery. So what I want to tell people is whatever is bothering you and you just feel like it's not something that will ever be able to be physically fixed, just embrace it. Just embrace it and move on with your life, because you will always be a thorn in your side and you will never, ever, ever be happy. And that's basically my question, my saying to the world is just love yourself, however that is, and everything else will come with that, and your whole life will change.
And that's exactly, and it's not that we don't have a penis. I consider the little thing that has grown from testosterone, my penis. It gets hard, it looks just like a penis, it moves just like a penis. It's just a bitty weedy one. But I'm very happy with what I have. When I saw what's out there, all the operations and the complications, it wasn't an option anymore. And I learned to love my little weenie, and I'm very happy with it. I feel it's amazing, and I'm happy with it, and I'm happy with myself and the way that I am. And like you said, we were considered as gods in ancient time. We were considered shamans and healers and teachers, and we were looked upon as something very special. And that's kind of like the message that I want to be able to relay to transgender and transsexual people. And that's why the whole angel wings of transition radio, and I believe we're angelic, and I believe we're here for a reason, and to help people stop this whole duality and to accept themselves for who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more with you on that because Mark has actually been a blessing in my life to help me be comfortable with what I have. If it wasn't for him, I'd still be on that same dreaded path of I want a vagina, I want a vagina, I want a vagina. It's not necessary.
Yeah. It's not necessarily going to make you happy. I mean, for instance, I know somebody who did that, and they were not happy after they did it, and I could tell that they wish they didn't do it. And I've met other people who've had bottom surgery, and again, this is my own opinion, and it's also my actual experience with people. It's not that I'm anti-bottom surgery at all. In fact, I think if it's going to work for you, you should do it. But, you know, people have said, Buck Angel is anti-bottom surgery. I am not. I'm anti doing something because you feel forced into doing it and not because you're doing it for yourself. That's what I'm anti. And so, you know, just if it's going to make you feel like a whole person, you should go for it and you should do it. But if it's something that you just don't feel like it's necessary to do, it does not mean that you're not still a man or a woman. It's just, you know, it's just that's such a huge message, I think, to bring to people out there that, you know, you have the option to do it or you have the option to not do it.
Exactly. And that's, you know, that's the whole thing when, you know, Mark asked me, you know, give me one good reason why you feel you need that. And I thought about it and I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? I don't have any frigging clue. Yeah. It's just because I feel that that was something that I had to do to become 100% a female. And he proved to me that that's not the case. He makes me feel 100% like a woman, and I am complete.
Yeah, same here. Genitals don't make a man or a woman, and it's crazy. It's the programming that has been created.
Yeah, it's programming.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's pure programming, and people are living their lives on one day aisle, waiting for that surgery or saving up for that surgery, and not enjoying their life. They get hit by a car, you know, the next day, and they could get hit by a car and not ever enjoy their life because they're so worried about that surgery and the day they're going to have it. Exactly. So you got to enjoy the now and enjoy what you have and just, you know, be love and live your life in love and love yourself unconditionally.
Well, so now since we're onto the video section, we wanted to show the viewers a short clip on your transformation and your message.
Hi, I'm Buck Angel. And through proper nutrition and weightlifting, I have transformed my body dramatically. Take a look.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and the hormone replacement therapy didn't hurt either. For more information on my nutrition and bodybuilding, please take a look at buckangelbodybuilding.com. And for more information on me, check out buckangel.com.
Oh my God.
Yeah, amazing transformation.
Wow.
Yeah, it's...
Buck? Holy shit, that's all I gotta say. Pardon my potty mouth.
No, it's amazing. I mean, like, when I look in the mirror a lot of times and looking back at my old pictures as well, it's incredible what a hormone substance, something that we put in our bloodstream can do for the entire body, how it could change you from night and day. And
exactly.
It's almost like being a god that you self-create yourself, you know, or a sculptist or some sort of artist or something amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So Buck, you went through Hurricane Katrina and left Louisiana and now live in Mexico. How has it been for you in your new home and how have you adapted?
Yeah, I'm speechless because where I live is literally, I feel like I live in paradise. I loved living in New Orleans. It's an amazing city. It still is, but it just was destroyed after Katrina. And I had bought my property before Katrina because I was already planning on moving out of the United States. But Katrina sort of pushed me a little faster. And my wife and I, we just packed our bags, sold our place. We just took a couple suitcases with us and had the rest of our stuff shipped. And that was 6 years ago. And we didn't speak any Spanish. We didn't know anybody here. We just bought this house and we just moved here. And it was one of the best decisions I think that we've ever made for ourselves. I mean, we have the quality of life is just unbelievable here. We just have like we live like, you know, stars, and we're not even, and we're not, and it's just like crazy, you know. It's like we could not afford to live the way we live in the United States. And it's not just that, it's just there's an energy here that's so positive, and you know, this Mayan energy that's just here, and the people are so nice, and there's not attitude, and it's very simple, and you know, it's like it's about family, and you know, it's not about how many computers you own or what kind of car you drive, and it's just a really refreshing, nice place to come home to when I have to travel around the world and be in some places that are quite stressful. So, you know, like it's just an amazing situation that I've been put into.
It sounds very appealing. I've often wanted to leave the United States. I tried going to Argentina, and I was there for 7 weeks, and it just, I don't know, it didn't do it for me. But I've often thought of Mexico. I just don't know what the legalities would be behind it, the paperwork, and you know, the safeness.
It's not. You don't worry. You're going to come to visit anyway. So when you come, I'll show you. It's different. I live in the Yucatan, which is actually a really different part of Mexico. Mexico has some problems right now. You know, that's a whole nother show. But here in the Yucatan, it's very, very chilled out. And you know, I own my property. I've been here for 6 years on a visa. In another year, I can apply for Mexican citizenship, but I'll still retain my American citizenship. You know, it's everything is legal here, and it's very chilled out. It's not as difficult as, you know, it seems like it is. And it's not that I am anti-American. It's that I really was disgusted with the government and Bush. And he was really coming down a lot on the adult entertainment business and porn and anti-this and anti-that. And I just felt really discouraged living in a country that didn't really do the things that I wanted it to do for myself. So, you know, that was one of the reasons why I left. But here it's very easy to move here and very simple, and it's not a problem at all.
Yeah, I'm not anti-America either. I just don't like the way things are heading, and they've gotten even worse. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better. And, you know, like you said, everybody's always trying to keep up with the Joneses. And I'm a very simple person. I just want to make sure I have a decent roof over my head, be able to put food on my table. And it's just getting harder and harder. And I'm an occupational therapist, and my profession has totally gone downhill. The whole medical profession has gone downhill. They don't care about people. And I didn't get into that field because to push papers, and that's all they want you to do. They don't care about the patients. I want to live my life in peace. You know, I'm 48 years old. I'm not getting any younger. I want to enjoy doing what I want to do. I don't want to feel like I'm in a prison, and that's what it feels like a lot of times living here in the States.
Exactly. You know, so no, you hit it right on. That's exactly it, and that's one of the reasons why, like, healthcare here is, you know, I had my hysterectomy. First of all, the doctors don't care here. They're very cool with the trans thing, and you know, they when I had to go for emergency hysterectomy, you know, my wife was like, "Well, I got to tell you something," because we didn't know what the problem was, and they were going to have to obviously go searching around down there. And then she's like, "You know, he is a man with a vagina," and they were like, okay. They were just like, okay about it. They were like, it doesn't matter. It's not important right now. So it was like, you know, that would never happen in the United States. They'd be like, ah, and you know, just simple things like that. And, you know, you can live here on really no money. I mean, it's like, that's the problem is the States is so expensive to live. I don't even know how people are doing it. When I travel, I'm like always shocked how just expensive a coffee is. I mean, you can get coffee here, a cup of coffee for 50 cents. Like, it's like the 1950s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, Buck, you are definitely an advocate for safe sex and condom use in the porn industry. Can you elaborate on that for us?
Well, yeah, I'm an advocate for safe sex because there's a lot of reasons I am. And first of all, I feel like it is, you know, sort of my duty as a filmmaker to show that safe sex is something that you must always think about when you're having sex. It's not like it's not the 1960s, you know. It's like people get diseases now very fast, and HIV is out there. And you know what? We have to learn to understand that using condoms is okay, and it's positive, and it's sexy, and it's hot. And I just feel like it's, as a filmmaker, if I don't do that, I'm sort of not. I'm sort of not really owning up to my own responsibilities, and in my own personal life, I'm so pro safe sex that it would be ridiculous for me not to put it in my films. And at the same time, I have an adopted daughter who has AIDS, and I've had almost all of my friends died of AIDS. So I have a very close connection to that situation. So I feel like, in honor of all of my friends who should be here, and sort of like the fact that people don't want to talk about it in the porn industry, and it's sort of like, oh, we don't really want to deal with that. I feel like I'm sort of this lone wolf in that situation, that I don't want to say that it's not okay, that it's okay not to use condoms, because I don't really feel that way. I do feel that it is important for us to show condoms, and people say it's just fantasy, but you know what? I'm not a fucking cartoon character. I'm a real person. So
Exactly.
even if I'm your fantasy, it doesn't matter. I'm still a real person, if that makes sense. So they always use that excuse of it's a fantasy, but it's not really a fantasy. Those are real people having sex in front of the camera. So yeah, I'm a huge advocate for that.
Well, it's important.
That's awesome.
I mean, and one of the things that a lot of transgender individuals don't think that they're going to get AIDS or whatever, and it's important for them to be educated and to actually realize that they have to use condoms, that they have to take care of themselves. There's a lot of sex workers in the transgender community, a lot of MTFs that prostitute themselves. It's important for people to take care of themselves and to realize that using a condom, using a dental dam, even using gloves when you're playing with your hands in certain areas, you never know if you have a cut, you never know what's going to happen,
Right.
and you have to keep yourself safe. And definitely I'm all for safe sex as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because I started this new series called Sex and the Trans Man XXX, and so it's like interview. I call it docu-porn, where I talk to a lot of these guys about their surgeries and their changes and how they feel sexually, and then I have them sort of go into this masturbation thing. But I always want to bring that. I always talk about safe sex and that, and that's so important within the trans community, because mostly I know about the trans male community, but they don't really talk about, a lot of guys going and having sex for the first time with a guy, and they never done it before, and they don't use condoms. And I'm like, oh my God, I just can't even, believe it. It shocks me every time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Talking about the sex and the trans one, we have the PG version that I wanted to show I really wanted to show the rated XXS version, but Joe really wasn't going to go for that one. So we have the PG version here to show the viewers a short little clip on sexing the trans.
Yes, I want to watch the X version again.
So why don't you tell me your name?
Rude boy.
Rude boy. How old are you?
27.
Why don't you tell me your name and how old you are?
Okay, I'm 41 years old, and my name is Tom Bruce.
So why don't you tell me your name and how old you are?
I'm not using my stage name. It's Dominic Reinhard. I'm 20. My name's Dane, and I'm 23.
I'm Mark, and I'm 24.
24, and you're not a trans man.
No, I'm cis.
Yeah.
That was hot, even though it was PG version.
Yes, it was. It's a little hot in here right now. Wow.
Maybe next major documentary that you do, Jess and I could be part of that.
Oh God.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah. And we've got the perfect last name for it too, the Cummings.
Oh Jesus.
I know.
And it's even
Such a
spelled
porn name.
correctly, ironically.
It's
I was
true.
like,
You're all ready to go.
There's no Waltons here.
That's crazy.
So hey, Buck, what message do you have for transgender individuals who are having trouble dealing with their genitals?
Yeah, it's well, I just basically the same thing. You have to really be comfortable with yourself. And however, I don't know how. People always ask me, how did you get to be that way? I honestly don't really know specifics of how, how I got to be so comfortable with my genitals, other than the fact that I just got fed up with people telling me that I couldn't be this way just because I had certain genitals. So it's work. I'm not going to lie. It's work. And really, I'm a big advocate for therapy. I went to therapy for 10 years. And so I really think working on yourself, however that is, going to a great therapist or group meetings or, talking to other people who've become comfortable or, that's the way, you sort of just really have to learn to work on yourself and figure out why I'm not comfortable with myself and how I need to get comfortable with myself.
Yeah, and I think that religion plays a major role with people not being themselves. I mean, whether you're straight, gay, bi, trans, people always have some sort of hang-up, some sort of problems, and I think the key is to become more comfortable with yourself, become acquainted.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would probably be a great workshop to do things to make people feel comfortable with their genitalia and to let loose and allow themselves to feel. Too many people have sex under the sheets. They're afraid to be touched or to touch, or it's almost like a taboo, and it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing how spiritual sex could actually be if you allow it to be.
Me and Mark actually talked about that. It was like, oh wow, could you imagine what it would be like a porn with Mark and I? People look and say, wow, it's a hot blonde chick, and then they say, wow, look at that hairy guy, and then the bottoms come down, and it's like, oh, what the hell, what?
But it's actually, I think it's a very hot thing, and I think a lot of people are intrigued by that. It's it's actually something Go ahead.
Sorry.
It's definitely, it's erotic at its best, an MTF with an FTM, because it's like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it totally is. I actually did a scene that's in my latest film with a transgender woman, and so her name is Wendy Williams. She's pretty popular, and so and I also did one before that with Alana Starr that got nominated for the most outrageous sex scene in the adult industry.
Oh wow! Yeah, I've seen Alana Starr too. She's really awesome.
Yeah, she's super awesome. Really, a really great, down to earth person. Just really sweet, like just a normal girl.
Well,
yes.
I don't know what the taboo is with the way people think about individuals that work in the adult industry. It's like, it's a job they're doing, actually, a major justice, allowing people to live their fantasies, because that's what most people look at porn, is to be able to fantasize and see things that they may never even really want to try because they're afraid to. So porn serves a major service, and it's it is what it is, and more people need to be less tabooish about it and embrace it and understand it and become comfortable with it.
Well, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen with Christianity so powerful, and people are just so anti-sex in general. So then they look at pornography as this dirty, ugly thing, even though it's a multi-billion-dollar business, and obviously many people watch it. But because people can't be okay and say they watch or talk about porn, because if you do, you're a dirty pervert, because that's just this whole stigma around it that is so huge and powerful that I don't even know in my or our lifetime if we'll ever see a situation where people have finally become, oh, it's just porn. I honestly don't know, because it's just so people have this hatred towards it that's just really powerful.
I think it's a love-hate relationship, because those that condemn it the most are the ones that are online at work watching and jerking off.
Hey, there's Christians out there that are watching porn and spanking the monkey, so
So
I know.
It's hypocrisy.
I know. They're hypocrites.
Hypocrisy.
They're total hypocrites.
Yeah, that's what it is. And that's because, they've been brainwashed to believe that it's bad. So here they are engaging in something that they've been told is bad. So they're going to do it behind closed doors, but they're still going to point fingers. And that's crazy.
Exactly.
Totally nuts. So, Buck, tell us what's in store for you in the future. I think I heard something that you're going to be in the Hyatt doing something or another.
Tuesday, today's Sunday. Tuesday, I'm leaving for Minneapolis for the screening of my film, Sex and the Trans Man, which will be showing at the Outfest in Minneapolis, and then I'm doing a workshop the next day at Smitten Kitten, which is a sex shop there, a women's owned sex shop called Sex and the Trans Man, where I talk about the filming and why I feel it's so important to make a film like this.
Definitely. So, again, hopefully you'll be able to come down to Florida, or we go over to Yucatan, and definitely, because I'm dying to meet you in person and maybe do some things together.
As am I.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk more about that and get you guys here, or try to work on getting me out there or something.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. That would be like really awesome. So, do you have any last words or final messages that you want to convey to anybody out there?
Yeah, I really just want people to just, really know that you can have the life that you want to have. You can just be happy in your skin and stop listening to what other people are telling you have to be. And one of the things I always say in my talks at the end is always, you should deprogram yourself. Deprogram yourself from what the world is telling you have to be. It's not true. I deprogrammed myself, and now look at me. So, don't stop feeling sorry for yourself and miserable, and there isn't going to be a light at the end of the tunnel, because when you do that, there isn't a light at the end of the tunnel. Just be happy and look forward and know to make that change, however you need to make that change, and your whole life will change.
It's a great message, and it's so true. And I think there's many soldiers of us here on this planet trying to bring light, bring change, bring peace and love, understanding to one another. It's not about LGBT, it's about human race. We are spirits having a human experience. And I believe the sooner we realize that we're more alike than we are different, the better this world is going to be. And individual like yourself, those of us that are advocating to educate and bring love are going to make a difference. And I have faith that things are going to change in life, and people are finally going to wake up to the truthness that it's not about what fancy car you drive, how much money you have in the bank. It's about making connections. It's about loving yourself unconditionally. So,
hey, Joe, do you have any questions for Buck?
Joe?
I do not. No. The chat room's been quite busy, though, I must say here.
Has it?
Yeah.
Can you read us some of the stuff that's going on in the chat room?
I'm going to take a look here real quick here. In regards here with the chat room here, one of them was asking about lower surgery, actually, and whether people feel like they're trans enough. So I'm taking a look back through here real quick here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's great, but some trans men cannot have anything inside of them. That's a good point to bring up.
Says who?
One of the viewers, 7579, actually.
He said that trans men can't have anything inside of them?
Some trans men can't.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't because, okay.
Yeah. Buck?
That's true. This is true.
About that?
This is true. Some people have maybe some damage from maybe some sexual abuse stuff, or and they just feel really disconnected with that, and that's fine. You just have to move on from that. I don't think I or Mark are saying that you have to be able to get penetrated to it's not true. I think what we're just saying is that you have to sort of become okay with yourself, however that is, and that we have come to terms with that and have been penetrated and enjoy it. And if it's something that's accessible to you, don't discount that it might, help you to become more comfortable with yourself. But I agree, it's not for everybody, it's just we're just saying that it did that for us, basically.
Exactly. And if it wouldn't been for Jessica, I probably would have been one of those trans men that would have never had anything inside of them, because everything used to hurt. I never wore tampons when I was a teenager. I couldn't, nothing. Even when I had relationships with female who tried to penetrate me with their fingers, I didn't like it. So it took me falling in love with Jessica to feel comfortable, to feel okay, which allowed me to fully embrace. And now it's like, wow, it changes you.
You're making me sound little.
No, you're not little at all, as a matter of fact. Little she is not.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there. He's talking about fingers and stuff like that.
Well, no, you're not little.
I always live by the motto, if it don't fit, force it.
Yeah, and she did. And at first, it was not the most comfortable thing. It was an amazing experience because I never have felt anyone inside of me. But as we practiced and it kind of like opened up a little bit more, then it started to be more and more pleasurable. And like I said, it's changed my life dramatically, and it's made me have a tremendous connection to Jessica. And to me, I'll always hold that in my heart. She was my first, and it's like she can never leave me because I never gave that to anybody else but you. So now I belong to you, and it belongs to you. So.
And baby, I cherish it fully, and you know that.
So now that I'm off my soapbox.
Did anybody else have any questions?
Joe, any other questions?
I think that was it, actually.
That was
That's
it.
the one I saw. I apologize if I missed anybody there.
No problem. So
thank you so much, Buck, for joining us. Yes. It's been a very amazing, enlightening conversation. We definitely have to do this again, whether on the radio show on Tuesday and Thursdays. If you want to join us again, you're more than welcome. Definitely want to meet you in person and
for sure,
and see what the future holds.
Thank you so much, Buck.
Thank you, and you guys are doing a great service. Thanks so much for having a positive attitude about the change and just about being yourself. And I think your show is going to do really great. So thank you so much for really supporting what I do and having me on the show.
The pleasure is ours.
It's all ours, Buck, for sure.
Thank you so much.
So we'll talk soon then. We'll just email me and we'll hang out and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Definitely.
Sounds great.
Take care, Buck.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. See you there. Bye.
All right. Good night.
That was an amazing, amazing interview.
Yes.
And it really hurts me that a lot of trans guys have been down on him. Yeah. I've seen a lot of posts, and even when I've talked to other trans men about Buck, they've always had something negative, and I always try to turn it around. I said, he's a great guy. I know him personally.
He's an amazing guy.
And, they're just great people, him and his wife. And I don't know why people have to judge. I really don't understand it.
Because people don't want to take the time to learn about somebody and who they are on the inside. They only want to judge what they see that shows on the outside.
Right.
And, believe me, it's not all about what's on outside. It's what is truly on the inside that really counts. And that's the type of people that I like to be around, the people that are good inside.
And to free yourself, when you stop living your life with taboos and fears and you just open up the doors and realize, wow, what a world. There's just, things don't have to be all in a little box. And I think that's a major lesson that we're here to learn.
I agree.
Be balanced and free yourself. And if you can't, then don't judge others that are. Bottom line. You may not agree with what Buck is doing. You may not agree with what we're doing.
That's
but,
right.
We could love and respect one another, agree to disagree, which is one of my famous saying, and just love. It's all about unconditional love and leaving a positive mark here on this earth before we go.
And I definitely have unconditional love for you, my baby.
For you, sweetie.
And I love you very much.
I love you too. I wanted to talk a little bit about my music, since I've been playing my music at the end of the show here on Transition Radio TV, and also on on the
YouTube?
blog, on Blog Talk.
Blog Talk.
And actually on YouTube, you could actually download some of my music from iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
And
we have a store on the website.
Yeah, the store on the website. And on my YouTube channel, I've got over 555 videos. I love to make videos. And they're not all music videos. Some of them are spiritual videos. Some of them are just videos, me talking and blogging and things like that. But I definitely encourage you to visit my YouTube channel. It's MarkAngeloc, Mark Angeloc. If you Google that, you'll get to my YouTube channel. And you can download my CDs, or the whole CD, or just one track at a time on iTunes or CD Baby.
Mm-hmm.
And today I'm going to end the show with one of my originals that's also on the album Enslaved, which is called Love Only Knows Love. And that's basically it. And it's a song that I wrote actually for the LGBT community. It's almost like me saying, how dare you say that we are not allowed to get married? So it's an interesting song, nice musical flair. We want to thank Buck Angel for being here with us.
Do.
Thank you, Joe.
We want to thank Joe
for being the great
behind
the scenes guy.
Thank you.
And hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week with some more interesting information and try to get some more interesting guests. And we love you guys.
Yes, we do.
But remember to love yourselves too. And we're ending the show with Love Only Knows Love.
Good night.
Who are you to say that we're not equal? Who are you to say we're not the same? Is my love not true? Are my emotions not worthy of a marriage this day and age? How did you take over an institution? How did you condemn eternal love? How can you forbid a loving marriage between two souls who are in love? You are in love. Love only knows love. Yeah. You claim that it's God that made these laws up. You're following a book that knows no love. Your hatred and oppression for those that are different. Learn to love each other, forget the rest. How did you take over an institution? How did you condemn eternal love? How did you forbid a loving marriage between two souls who are in love? Yeah. Who are in love? Love only knows love. Love only knows love. You say that we are sinners and are not worthy of receiving the precious gift that you all claim. You state that we are an abomination. You got created all, including us. How did you take over an institution?